I call to order the certification of a quorum of the regular meeting of the City of Aransas Pass City Council, April 7, 2025, at 6 p.m. Let's all rise for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance.
Heavenly Father, as we convene this council meeting, we seek your guidance and wisdom. May our discussions be characterized by respect, understanding, and commitment to the common good. Help us to discern the needs of our city and its citizens and to make decisions that reflect your values of justice, compassion, and fairness. Grant us the strength to work together even in disagreement and to seek solutions that will benefit all. We pray for peace, progress, and prosperity for our city. In your name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the flag of Texas.
Pledge
Allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, now we're going to go to city manager announcements.
The purpose of, there's two events listed under city manager announcements, and the purpose is to invite the council and the community to come and celebrate with us. The first one is National Library Week. That's April 6th through the 12th, 2025. There is a library social that will be held on April the 9th. That's this Wednesday from 2 to 4 at the Ed and Hazel Richmond Public Library. The second one is our annual Easter egg hunt. That'll be this Saturday, April the 13th, from 3 to 5 at the Civic Center. That's it, Mayor. And Mayor, can we deviate from the agenda and go to item number 9F? We have Commissioner Gillespie here to speak on that item.
Yeah, right now, right?
Yes, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Mayor, Councilman, I'm here along with Commissioner Yardley as well. He was the one that went to Austin for us to speak with Senator Hinojosa about this water agreement and about the additional commissioners. For whatever reason, Senator Hinojosa has decided that a commissioner should come from the city of Portland and one should come from the city of Port Aransas. We don't know why. We've talked about it. We don't know why. He's not told us. I don't even want to hazard a guess. But we had passed the water agreement because we all need to agree on water. But we added in our paragraphs to support Jam Lozano's House Bill 2120, okay, which gives us 2 additional port commissioners for wherever we want to put them, wherever they need to be from. We'd always talked before about one from this end of the county, Aransas Pass, Ingleside area, and we already have someone who is currently serving from Portland, although it's not a Portland position, it's a county position. And then one from further out in the county near Sinton or Mathis for the agriculture side of things, so to help represent the farmers. So our resolution that we passed, and I'm asking you to pass tonight for the water agreement, includes that. Now, why they weren't two separate things, I don't know. And we haven't been able to find that out either. So.
I don't know if you know, Howard, do you know how they're going to go about selecting the new commissioners?
No, it's if they give it to us, the county commissioners court will select them.
Okay.
Okay. Now, remember, this is a local bill. When you do the port commissioners, it's a local bill, so that means all 3 entities, San Patricio County, Nueces County, and the city of Corpus Christi, have to agree to add port commissioners and have to agree on where they're going to be from. I don't see it happening. All right. I'm not sure why Senator Hinojosa went about this way. Hopefully we can find out.
Okay.
But they're not. I don't see where the city of Corpus Christi would want, even though it's from the city of Port Aransas, would want another commissioner, port commissioner, in Nueces County, which would be 4 for Nueces County and 3 for Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
So the port, I believe, is pretty much staying neutral in that part of it. They did the water agreement, but they had nothing. They didn't do anything at all about who the support for commissioners. They stayed neutral on that one. Okay, but we do have a new port administration too, so, which is much better.
We've been trying to do that for a while.
We've been yes. Well, matter of fact, Commissioner Yardley and I spent one whole legislative session in Austin a couple years back. And we went door to door to door, and we had to get agreement on everything. And I think was it the last time we were close on it? And then I think the city of Corpus Christi backed out on supporting it. So
it's supposed to go from one to
one
three.
councilman in city, one councilman, yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna go from 1 to 3 if it does pass.
For us, yes.
For us.
Yeah, we'd add 2 for us if we get it. And then it would be up to the Commissioners Court to decide on where the people come from. Okay?
All right.
Any other questions for me? Thank you for moving me up to the front of the agenda. It's been a long day.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Howard.
Thank
We
you for
did
your
it just for you.
diligence
Yeah,
on
yeah.
this.
Like I said, we've hashed this out among ourselves. We can't figure it out, so it would be good to be able to support the Senate bill and the House bill, but it doesn't really gain us any ground. So, anyway,
Okay.
there you have it.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Thanks,
Sir.
You're welcome, sir.
We do have an item for action. We do have an item for action related to this resolution.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I make a motion to approve a resolution declaring unified commitment to the development of regional water supplies.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I'm in favor. Okay, of this one, just for y'all to know.
Mayor, let me just make a correction on the annual Easter egg hunt. It's on Saturday, April the 12th, not the 13th.
Okay, all right. Okay, now we're gonna go to citizen comments and counters.
During citizen comments, there will not be any candidate campaigning allowed at the city council meetings.
Okay, and we have one comment, and that's from Richard Titus.
City Councilman, Mayor, everybody here. I was hoping to be able to talk after you guys discuss what's supposed to be on the business meeting today. Number one, I will say this. This city doesn't follow its own city ordinances. A conditional use permit by y'all's rules and regulations and ordinances, and that's why I got your number, sir. 12 months only. Mine was rebuked, rejected, and everything else in February and moved to May 12th. You cannot make somebody go 3 months past your own ordinances and then want to charge me $1,000 for a conditional use permit when I've never paid that. Now your city ordinance now might say that. What city people out here voted for that? Besides nobody that I'm aware of. It was all done by all of y'all up here, or whoever voted for it. This is wrong. I should be grandfathered in to starting my house 3 years ago. It's taken me 2 years and 2 months to build my house where it's at right now, with a broken neck, injured, and still going. I'm not on this cane for the hell of it because of an injection I had done wrong in my back. But all I can say is, you guys need to really seriously talk about the permits, the fees, the fines, and everything else. This is a poor community. We're not Port Aransas in a tourist town where you can charge whatever you want to against everything, okay? I'm only here trying to defend my 3 years of building this house by myself with a broken neck and all my other issues that go on in life. And what you're doing is wrong against whether it's me or anybody else that comes in this town. You know why you have no business here? Because your fees and fines and permits are way the hell too much. This is a poor town. Once you fix the town before you start asking for a lot more money from people that can afford it to come here instead of the people that are poor and can't afford it. Just because I'm building this house doesn't mean I'm filthy rich. All of my material was gave to me by my contractors that I worked for as a supervisor in plumbing for all these years. And what you're doing to me now, and Miss Brenda knows because I just reheard the voice message today that's saying my conditional use permit of $1,000 is past due. Well, you know what? If I'm not grandfathered in, you have no business even calling me. Or y'all have no business making a decision up here about what people's fees and fines are when I've already started my project 3 years ago. And as I stated the last meeting I was in, I know my minutes are up, but let me just say this.
Okay, well, you're up with your 3 minutes.
Well, you know what? I'll be back again, because I'm not leaving my house. I will leave in my car in front of the city hall with a sign that says why and how I'm here, because of y'all
Will?
and her.
If this has been fixed, I apologize, but I've stopped going this way because I got tired of drag racing the light to get through it. Can y'all call whoever you need to get the light extended at a FM 1069 and Westboro, because it barely lets one car get through right now. Thank you.
Alright. Okay, now we're gonna go to the consent agenda, and this to consider as a
Mayor.
consideration of approving.
Mayor, we've got staff reports.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get to the staff report.
Oh,
Staff reports. The first one is the 2025 Municipal Traffic Safety Award, honorable mention. That'll be Judge Morales.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I am proudly to be here to announce that our participation for the traffic safety throughout the year, promoting traffic safety, we were honored with the award of honorable mention throughout the state on the size of our city. And my senior court clerk and Officer Valdez and I went to Waco to accept the award. We got this award for excellence in promoting traffic safety, and also this award that reads 2025 Municipal Traffic Safety Awards, honorable mention presented to Aransas Municipal Court, recognized for their outstanding accomplishments in the area of traffic safety and impaired driving prevention. As you know, that throughout the year we participate on National Night Out. We visit the schools. On National Night Out, we pass out material to the public in motorcycle traffic safety, materials in text messaging, driving, using cell phones, distractions, anything promoting parents and being careful while they have their children. Car seats. We also, during in October, we do the character walk, and we pass out materials to the kids in coloring books, educating them on how to cross the streets, how to ride their bikes, wearing their safety gear. And we visit TxDOT. They're the ones that have cut out in giving the state, or where we get our materials, they have cut down on the materials. So we pay a visit to TxDOT, and that's where we go get our materials now. Here in Corpus, we go to their region. We don't let anything like that stop us. We want to put the word out there. They depend for the courts to help out putting the word out there. And we also went and did a educational presentation to the seniors, and in conjunction with the resource officers. And so anything that will help us put out the word out there will promote. We also attended the conference, and we are picking out more information and ideas on how to continue educating the public and try to help out the public in preventing fatalities and things like that. Anything that the city can help us out in putting the word out there. But we're very honored. Of course, we want to be a winner. We have been winners in the past, and but you know, competition is tough throughout the state. So we're not going to sit back. We're going to try harder this year because we'd like to win next year. So I just wanted to come and share this honor anyway with y'all, because there's some cities that didn't even get recognized, and we always get recognized somehow. So,
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah, keep up the
Thank you.
good job.
thank you.
Right now, we're gonna do the transfer skill station, that's the one you wanted to. Put it on workshop. Yeah.
Mayor, it's my understanding that item B, which is the transfer scale station, and D, the development services fee, are going to be postponed, and we're going to take that to a workshop meeting.
Yeah.
So then we'll go to item C, which is the aquatic
aquatic
center
center
fees
fees.
and parks.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We are discussing this evening aquatic center fee, a couple of changes that we're recommending, and we're also going to be going over a couple of ordinance updates for our city parks. While we're starting on the aquatic center, I wanted to take a brief moment and introduce our new aquatic center manager, Brandy Peters. She has come on board with us very early March, I think the 3rd or the 4th, and she has brought a lot of momentum and energy to her. Of course, it's a challenge to bring on a brand new aquatics manager weeks before opening, but she has really brought a lot of momentum, a lot of great ideas, and so we're looking forward to a very successful season at the Aquatic Center with a lot of great changes. So, Brandy, you want to say hello real quick?
I didn't know I was going to be up here, so I'm kind of a little bit of deer in the headlights. But yeah, I think we've got something great over there that's been in the city that I think we can even grow it and get it to be more for the community and to do more for the community. And I've been bouncing ideas off of her until I probably made her head explode. But I think we can do a lot with it for the kids and for the youth and for everyone here. We're going to try to gear it up where it's not only the kids. I want to have some adult classes and exercise and things like that, and I think that'll help the community a lot. So thank you.
Good deal.
Thank you, Ms. Brandy. Okay, so what we are requesting for the Aquatic Center is just a few minor changes. We recognize that the center, of course, first and foremost, is our community pool. And so we're not recommending right now to change our fee structures for our open swim, general admissions for residents. However, we do recognize that costs continue to rise, and that pool is a little over 20 years old, and the maintenance on it has become quite large. And last season we had to do a lot of repairs. This season we have some more as well, and operating costs continue to increase year after year for chemicals, staffing, and etc. And so we did feel like this is the time to go in and review our fee rates applicable to the costs, since these were set a number of years back. And so what we're recommending for this season is to kind of ease into that a little bit. This isn't something we've done in the past, but we would like to look at implementing a non-resident fee. And because it is a new thing, what we'd like to do is simply, at the door, are you an Aransas Pass resident or not? A simple driver's license, something very simple. We don't want to overcomplicate the process, let them on through, that kind of thing. So there would be a $2 increase for your adult category, a $2 increase for the child category. What we noticed now that we are doing swim tests, kiddos roughly under the age of 5, they're pretty much at the swimming capacity that they have to stay in the little kiddie pool. And so that's where you see that that change has gone from 2 to 5 years, because if they're only in the kiddie pool, that's the thought process behind that age group. Another category would be our family nights, which happens Thursday evenings. We stay open a couple hours later so that families that are still working during the week can come out and enjoy the pool. Being that we are open and it is season, we anticipate non-residents, travelers, so we would be adding $2 to that fee schedule for non-residents. The punch cards for groups that are staying a little bit longer than one day and want to come visit for a little longer, a slight increase for our non-residents on that category. And then our season pass, that would be just general season pass. That isn't a resident or non-resident. That would be a little bit harder to track on the back end. And so a $20 fee increase there. So this is something that we've been working on. I think this is just a discussion item this evening. And so we wanted to introduce that to you guys, see what your thoughts are on that, of course, before we do proceed. And then the next item that we have is regarding our parks ordinances. So it was brought to our attention as we were trying to go through and just make sure that everything, how can we improve things, that we did need to copy any kind of rules to all of our park facilities by ordinance, because unless they're in the ordinance, we can't exactly post them as rules. Then it's tricky to try to enforce them. So what part of this is the way the coding was wording, very minimal, if any, rules to all of our parks. Most of the rules focused on Con Brown because there's a fishing element. There's a little bit more to do at the Con Brown Park. So what we did was we created this category for general park rules, and this would be applied to all city parks, and it's hours, no littering, those kinds of things, just very general. And then we have a little clause for first come, first serve. This is talking about if a community member wanted to reserve the parks. The black text is what's already in code. Talks about a deposit just to hold the park for your day. For a community member, it's refundable. If you're a corporate group, it's partially refundable. And then we're recommending to add a specific rental schedule for that large pavilion at community park. So if someone just wanted to have a picnic there or just wanted to use that large pavilion, they could do a half-day or full-day rental at $20 or $30, and it would match our park hours. And really, with all of this, why we are recommending that at this time is because, as you know, Parks and Recs did actually add one staff member this past season, mid-budget year, and that person goes through our parks, keeps the trashes empty, keeps the bathrooms cleaned up. We've seen a lot of improvement, and so that's what's going to facilitate making sure that these parks are clear and empty prior to the arrival of these guests. Having this codified helps us be able to put signage and put some order to the structure, and we do see actually a lot of requests for park rentals, so this would give that a little bit of parameters. If you have any questions about both.
Yeah, charging for like that pavilion, that will be tough, because I spoke to a council member in Ingleside today, asked them if they had any fees. They charge no fees. It's first come, first serve. Rockport doesn't charge any fees. And even though it's $30 or $40, there's a lot of people in town that can't afford $30 or $40. And me personally, I can't support charging a fee. I think just first come, first serve, and use the park and do whatever you're doing and go home.
I did read over all of this too, and that's the only thing that I questioned myself. The community has historically known it to be, free. If the pavilion at the park near the Little Leagues, I could understand if it was an upgraded facility, but it is not, and it is just an old covered pavilion. Newberry Park, that's my question as well. I don't see charging anybody to use those, but that's just me.
I agree with that.
I will say some of the feedback, and we had several departments, everybody that would be involved or at least touched by the enforcement and follow through with this. Some of the feedback that was in that meeting was they felt, you know, what it looks like on our end if someone wants to reserve a park is there's a very strong expectation sometimes for a staff member to actually be there at 6 a.m. when the park's open and be taking out their trash for them and all of this, and where we have to explain to them that, you know, reserving a park is really just us saying we're going to make sure the trashes are clean for you, and as a courtesy, if you're on our books, if someone's in there taking up your space, we can do a courtesy call, you know, a goodwill, like an officer can go out and say, hey, we do have a reservation here, so they have first come for this park. And so they thought that adding that minimal $20 or $30 fee would kind of offset, okay, I need to keep it clean when I'm done, that kind of thing. But those points are great points.
What about if we can go back to the aquatic center fees, is there a consensus from the council on those fees?
I'm good, like, as long as the resident, especially seniors, if their fee's not gonna change, I mean, I'm okay with that.
So the only one that it could impact the residents is that season pass. On the daily admissions, it would not.
Yeah, those are all fine with me on the aquatic center fees.
How much more will it go up on a season pass?
$20,
How
and
much?
that's $20, and it's an
$20.
unlimited pass.
From 175 to 195. I don't think that's a big deal.
I don't think that's a big deal either.
Okay.
Okay.
If there's no further questions, thank you guys.
Well, thank
We'll
you.
bring these back at the next council meeting for action, minus the pavilion fee.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, now we're gonna go to council policies and rules of procedure. Okay, this is one that I brought up, because I'd like to change the policy that once we vote on a certain agenda item, that when we leave this meeting, it's all over and done with, you can't bring it back. I'd like to be able to have it to where we have till the next scheduled meeting to be able to change our minds, if any of us should do please to change our minds, to be able to bring it back to the agenda to go through it again.
So then what you're saying is you want to be able to reconsider
Yes.
at the meeting in which it was voted upon or at the next regularly scheduled meeting?
At the next,
The next regularly
all the way till the
scheduled
next
meeting.
meeting.
Yes, sir.
If nothing is asked after the next meeting, then that's it.
Okay.
I have something in it, and I've talked to you about this also. Since we're not doing workshops anymore, there's an ordinance that says if we want to put something on the agenda, we have to give it to the city manager 72 hours prior to the council meeting to get put on a workshop.
Yeah, because the workshops we're having it like today.
Yeah.
It's the first meeting of the month.
Well, no, I get that, but
We're doing it as a meeting and a workshop.
yeah, I agree, but I think that ordinance, we need to abolish it since we're not doing ordinances and revert back to the charter to where we give it to the city secretary in writing 72 hours prior to the next council meeting.
And if you look at item, it's included in the council policies. It's item number 5, rules of procedure. You go down to letter D, agenda, and it's number 1, where it says, any council member requesting to place an item on the council agenda shall notify the city manager, and it'll be placed at the next council workshop meeting for discussion.
Yes.
And I think what you're saying is we no longer have those
Workshops.
workshop meetings.
So I think we should pull that and revert back to what it says in the charter, to where we give it to the city secretary and then it gets put on the agenda, because we're not having workshops, so we need to do away with that.
But isn't it the way it used to be is if you had 2 council members want something in the agenda, you
No.
were able to call?
No, it doesn't say, it just says a
No, that's
council
not
member.
what it says now, but that was what it was back then.
No, not in the charter. It doesn't say if it's 1 or 10 council members, it just says you can give it to the city secretary in writing. I mean, it's worked since 1952. I mean, I think we should go back to it,
Is that something you want to?
right? 1,000 years old.
That's fine with me, but
Is that
that's the way
something
I
you
thought
want to
it was.
include in the policy, that a council member can add an item to the agenda?
To the agenda, do away with giving it to the city manager and it gets put on a workshop, just where it goes straight to the
We want
agenda.
it, yeah, because we don't have a workshop
Yeah.
anymore.
No, it's all combined.
Yep.
Ram, if you feel like you need to change the deal back to
the next meeting after. I don't have a problem with it, but we're not going retroactive. We're going to start it today. We're not going back to when we voted on the firehouse deal. Is that correct?
It will go, well, we'll bring it back at the next council meeting, which will be the 21st, and it's going to go forward from that date.
Okay.
Let me just interject. Let me interject something on that. Normally, the way it works is that if you want to reconsider something, it would take 2 members that voted in the majority asking to be brought back to reconsider, okay? So if it passed, then it's going to require two of those individuals voting in the majority to request that it be brought back, okay?
On the motion to reconsider.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just being able for us to reconsider if any of them change their mind of what they voted on.
I agree with that.
I'm good with that. Going forward.
The fire station, that's already done.
I know, done deal.
Can't do nothing about that.
We'll bring that item back on the 21st.
Okay.
All right, now we're gonna go to the consent agenda, which is consideration of approving the revised March 3rd, 2025 regular meeting minutes, and consideration of approving the March 17th, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda for March 3rd and March 17th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now we're gonna go to public hearing, which is creating a new chapter on aggressive solicitation to regulate door-to-door sales and panhandling.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is an extension of the last ordinance that we brought to you a few weeks ago for salespeople. This section was in that ordinance, and you requested for that to be pulled and a new one to be created, and so that is what is in front of you. So it does cover aggressive solicitations, which is door-to-door sales, and it gives 8 parameters of what that would mean. And then it would give definitions on different items that are stated in the ordinance, as well as including panhandling, which is also the same as solicit and solicitor, which means to request by the spoken, written, or printed word or any other means of communication an immediate donation or transfer of money or anything of value from any another person, regardless of the solicitor's purpose or intended use of the money or other thing of value, and regardless of whether the consideration is offered. There are registration requirements for people that do want to go from door to door. So insurance salesmen, once a disaster comes, they would have to get this permit to be able to do that. And there's also fees associated with it for them and parameters for them. So it would be 1 permit per company, but then all the different people that work for that company would need to follow the criteria that is required, when one of them would be to get fingerprinted so that we know who's going around and if they're doing it correctly or not.
Is this going to be, Chief, are you going to be running backgrounds on these people to make sure they're not undesirable?
That I'll have to take a look at, Councilman, to make sure that I can do that kind of stuff on the solicitation. I know that you can do an initial quick background check, but I just don't know if we can do checking their criminal history and things of that. I'll have to do some research on that.
On the ordinance, it does state that a full background check report shall be provided by the company themselves for each person that will be doing that. So like that, it doesn't fall on the police department to pay for those background checks.
I guess they could go to the, if it requires a background check, sort of like they do in Nueces County, they go to the county jail on
Correct.
certain days, and they pay a fee, and they'll do a quick background check on them,
Yes,
and give them a printout, they can bring that to you.
yes. Mhm.
And this is okay, say panhandling in this, the way it's worded?
I looked at it and we discussed it.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right.
Too many panhandlers. Okay, any questions from the audience? Any other questions for you? Okay, I declare this public hearing closed. Now we go to consideration of approving an ordinance amending the City Code of Ordinances aggressive solicitation, Chapter 21-A, adding fees, penalties, and requirements found in Exhibit A, repelling conflicting ordinances, providing a severe notice and penalty, and declaring an effective date.
I move to amend the City Code of Ordinances, aggressive solicitation, Chapter 21-A.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Your vote?
Okay, now we're gonna go to action items, which is consideration of approving a request from Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce to use community park and public safety assistance and protection and to temporarily close Arch Street, Danforth Street, and Highland Street, where is related to the flow of traffic in Shrimperie from Friday, October 17, 2025, at 4 p.m. through Sunday, October 19, 2025, at 6 p.m. The 77th Annual Shrimperie event is scheduled for October 17 through the 19th, 2025, with the carnival beginning on October 16.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to introduce the new dates for you. We're moving back to a cooler time of the year. We're requesting October 17th through the 19th for the festival, with the 16th being open for a carnival only. We're also requesting the street closures for that area, since we have one-ways due to buses that shuttle visitors into the fairgrounds, and also assistance with public safety as we've done in the past.
I'm okay.
Just one question. Wasn't aware of how it was done last year. Are you paying the overtime for the police?
We're requesting the city to take care of the public safety. We don't create the public safety plan. The law enforcement does. I've talked to the captain or to the chief and the assistant chief. They've created a plan that works for them, and we request that the city support their work.
Do you have security officers inside the grounds?
We have overnight, and we have, so the police department, to try to save money, they brought in like security guards, I think they are, and so we have several of them on site, and then we have our actual officers like patrolling traffic, and then we have Public Works who does all the street closures, and we pay them separate.
You have an idea what this costs, Chief?
I don't have the exact numbers at this time, Councilman. I do know that when I was here once before, back 6.5 years ago when we did this, I felt at that point that we were pushing the limits on how many officers that we had out there. And from my understanding from Assistant Chief Jones, it has even dwindled further with the creation of the I think, are they level 3 security guards? I'm not sure if they're level 3. Level 3 means that they're armed. I'm not sure if they're armed or not. But I don't, from what I picked up from Assistant Chief Jones, it's going to be hard pressed to cut anything else than what we have. As far as the intersections go, we were having 2 officers at each intersection. We have cut that down to the 2 officers that are paired. They go one to one intersection, one to another intersection to do a 1 hour rotation there. And then they go back into the grounds to do a patrol in there. So it's a cycle that we have to put them out there. Our biggest time that we have officers out there is Saturday night. Friday night we do too because of the concerts that are there. During the daytime on Saturday and Sunday, it's less officers than what it would be during the evening time on Friday and Saturday.
In other words, this is going to affect your budget, overtime budget.
Let me just add that it's my understanding that because this is an event, we use hot funds to cover the cost of the public safety, or the public safety part of it.
So hot funds pays for the overtime for the police?
It's my understanding.
I don't think that falls under that, does
Okay,
it,
no.
Sandra?
So what happens is every year, the chamber pays for the security. The chamber pays the officers directly. We, the city, do not pay for the overtime in that respect. So what happens after the event is done, the chamber will send us a bill saying this is how much security it ran us. It usually runs about $29,000 to $30,000. And then we will in turn cut them a check for that amount. We budgeted that amount in this fiscal year's budget from the hot funds. We've budgeted every year. This is an amount that's been budgeted since I've been here to facilitate the security for the shrimpery. But we don't pay the overtime. They don't just hire our employees. They bring other agencies, correct?
Yeah,
there's other agencies. So they handle that directly. They pay them at whatever rate they contract them. Then they send me a bill, and that will help them reimburse some of the cost for the security for the event.
Okay, that's the security. I'm talking about the police officers.
No, that's what I'm saying. The police officers, they don't work at that point in time. The chamber pays them directly. They don't put it on their timesheet. We don't pay the overtime in that respect.
I just asked her that, and she said that we pay it.
No, we don't. I can assure you that we do not pay
Does
the
that
overtime.
fall under one of the deals for hot tax?
It is
Under that
under,
7
it is
deal?
under the one of the 7, yes. It is a festival. So yes, it would be appropriate use of the expenditure of the funds for that reason. Yes, sir.
That's all I needed to know.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and let me just to add to that, so like she said, it's been that's the cost that it's been, 29 to 30,000 since I've been here, but the cost is not 29 to 30,000, the cost is more like 42 to 47,000, but we are only submitting for the portion that the city is approving, and then we are paying the rest of it through the Chamber of Commerce, including the Public Works.
Okay.
That event
Thank you.
generates quite a bit of sales taxes. Yeah.
I make a motion to approve a request from the Aransas Pass Chamber of Commerce to use Community Park, Public Safety Assistance and Protection, and a temporarily closed Arch Street, Danforth, and Highland from Friday, October 17th at 4 p.m. through Sunday, October 19th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, now, B and C.
Okay. I move to postpone action item B and C. We need to do some more work on this ordinance before we move on it to make sure business owners in the city are both protected.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay,
Mayor,
now we're
what
gonna
was
go
your
to
vote?
D, which is consideration of approving an award.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Consider of approving to award a bid for RFP for 2025-001 fireworks show contracted by the City of Aransas Pass Annual Independent Celebration to Western Enterprise in the amount of $23,000. And I think Will wanted to say something.
On this?
Okay, this just may be some of my manland or whatever you want to call it coming out of me. Is it really a good idea to have a fireworks show when we're under a drought and we just had what happened in Sinton and then we had a controlled fire get out? I mean, I know it's still, 4 months away, but this is something maybe we need to think about. Thank you.
Good point.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes. Charlie, you want to say anything since you're here?
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I'm Charlie Ochoa, Western Enterprises, Pyro Ochoa. Some of y'all know me. To your point, sir, yes, we are under drought, and that's part of what my authority is. Once we get going, we'll make that determination if it's not safe. And the site where we're gonna be firing the show has actually changed this year. It's gonna be at the Aquatic Park, right next to the water, and they keep those grounds mowed and in a condition where I can do this. Okay, I wouldn't even consider it if I couldn't, because we had to go out there and look at it. and prevailing winds that time of year is going to be going away from where there is a lot of stuff. So I feel comfortable that it's going to be okay. Okay, but we always make that decision before we fire the show. That's top safety. Okay, we don't want to damage. We want everybody safe. Other than that, show it's going to be just like we've done every year. Give you all we can, and do the best we can. My daughter fires that show. She just had a baby and she's ready to do it. So she wants to. We got another Parocillo coming up in the family. So I'm excited about that. But thank you for your time. Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Charlie. I'll make a motion to approve to award a bid for RFP for fireworks show contractor for the City of Aransas Pass Annual Independence Celebration to Western Enterprises in the amount of $23,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now we're gonna go to consideration of approving the request from DNA Productions to use Compound Harbor on June 6th to the 8th, 2025 for the second annual Fish Fest.
Good evening, guys. My name's Amanda, and I'm with Donnie Neslani. We're DNA Productions, and we'd like to host again the second annual Fish Fest to be held at one of the city's best features, the Con Brown Harbor, June 6, 7, and 8. We'd actually like to reserve those grounds, the same grounds that we had last time, the 5th through the 9th, so we can set up and then break down the Monday after, which is the 9th. For those of you who didn't show up last year or weren't aware of the Fish Fest, I'd just like to go through a couple of points that we did. Last year's event brought together approximately 60 vendors, 7 bands, 170 kids and junior competitors, volunteers, and over 2,000 local and out-of-town attendees. We're also proud to add that over 60% of the vendors and food trucks traveled in from out of town. 6 out of 10 of the hired bands traveled in from out of town, including the Coastal Cowboy, who brought his entire family. They're from all over Texas. We also had several long-distance casting competitors come in from out of town, and including one of the historical Guinness Book of World Records guys. His name's Big Lou. He actually cast a fishing line over the Houston Astrodome, which was kind of cool. We were also able to collect $1,000 in cash donations for our local food bank, along with a big box of food. This was a free event. We're proud to say that. And then we also introduced new competitions to Aransas Pass, including the first ever mullet toss competition, the fish hole competition, and the long distance casting competition. And we also brought back the kids fishing competition to get families involved and give away about 170 donated fishing poles. So we're hoping to do more this year, maybe double it if we can. And then we also feel like it was a success, and we appreciate your support as always. We're looking forward to growing this event with your support. So thank you for your consideration. Any questions?
No, I'm glad to see it, because I know when I was down there last time, that was a pretty awesome show y'all guys put on.
All right. Well, I make a motion to approve a request from DNA Productions to use Con Brown Harbor on June, actually the 5th through the 9th, right? For the second annual Fish Fest.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Now we go to consideration of approving a resolution declaring unified commitment to the development of regional water supplies.
We've already acted on that item.
Yeah, we did that first.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
okay. Now we're gonna go into executive session, Texas Government Code Section 5.1.071, to meet with the attorney to seek legal advice on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the City Council under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Texas Open Meeting Act relating to Con Brown Harbor Lease, Aransas Pass Seafood Packers, Con Brown Harbor Lease, Coastal Point Company. Then we have Texas Government Code Section 551.087, deliberation regarding economic development negotiations relating to Amistad Hill. Then we have Texas Government Code Section 551.072 to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property relating to LWR property, and it's 649.
Okay.
Shall we Okay, council will reconvene in open session and may take action on any item listed in the executive session section of this agenda. Excuse me.
Well, I make a motion to approve the contract and lease agreement with Coast Point Company, subject to the terms and conditions agreed upon.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
I make a motion to hire Langley and Bannock?
Barrera.
Bannock to represent the city regarding the LWR property.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Are y'all